Hey, Armand here with your forecast for the week of November 15th, 2021. It is a week that has a lot of energy, a lot of free floating energy around, and it might be directed at who knows what it's going to be directed at. Perhaps you. Perhaps it'll be just directed out into space or something like that. So, what have we got going on this week? Well, we're building towards Friday's eclipse. That's early Friday morning, earliest Friday morning, or a little bit later on Friday morning if you're in Europe. We feel this energy building all week long. As I said last time, and maybe the time before, as we get into eclipse season, we're really feeling the energy building from the new moon beforehand. Well, this week, we're right in the midst of it, and we'll be in the midst of it right through this week and next week and into the following week as well. But this is a peak because the moon is waxing, and it's waxing through the sign of Aries as we begin the week. And so this is a sort of a double charge of energy. Aries is always going to be very powerfully energetic and pushing forward. So what we're going to look for here is this kind of push. I want to move. I want to get things going as we begin the week. Adding to that, the sun is square to Jupiter. Now, Sun-Jupiter aspects sort of fill you with, let's call it, enthusiasm. What we have here is a little bit of a mishmash, though, of energy because Jupiter is in Aquarius, a little more open, a little bit more sociable, a little bit more looking for some, bigger picture stuff, whereas the sun is in Scorpio and perhaps a little bit contracted. And so looking for security, looking for certainty. A little bit of a mismatch. That's what the word I'm looking for, between these different energies as we begin the week. It's with the fact that the moon is in Aries is a big help because the Jupiter and the sun are both well acquainted with fire signs, get along fairly well in Aries. The sun certainly really loves Aries. So there's good connections going on here. Watch out for some folks to have their egos get a little bit inflated, but I wouldn't say that there's that much of a danger of that. There is a little bit of a chance of some folks just sort of pushing through my way or the highway, being kind of like the bull in the china shop type of thing. That is a possibility. Then, as we go into Tuesday, we have a fairly long void moon for the chunk of Tuesday Eastern time. I don't know, pretty much wherever you are, it's a pretty long void moon from about 11 a.m. Eastern till about 9. It's not exact times. I'm not giving you exact times. That's not my job. You want to find the exact time, go look it up. But a big portion of Tuesday is going, and I have to figure out too, then if in Europe, I don't know if they've changed the clocks everywhere and stuff like that. But big chunk of Tuesday as a void moon. The thing is, we're heading into this Wednesday aspect, and the Wednesday's aspect is an opposition between Mars and Saturn, and that is between Mars and Uranus, and that is exact around midday on Wednesday. And so we feel this on Tuesday, even with the void moon, and we certainly feel it on Wednesday. Now, Mars-Uranus aspects are impatient, is a word that we would use for it. There's an impatient kind of aspect. We take that Sun-Jupiter aspect, which is also kind of impatient in its own way, and then we roll it over into Mars-Uranus. This is kind of like, get out of my way, okay? Tempers are likely to be very short as we approach midweek. Folks are going to want to do their own thing, and Mars is in Scorpio, so it's a little bit, remember, it's playing defense in Scorpio. It's a little bit more likely to be protected, and anything that it sees as being a change is liable to be seen as a threat. And here comes Uranus, the planet of change and revolution, coming from the opposite side of the zodiac. It's an opposition, so it's something that is very likely to be played out with others. It's not just an internal tension, although it really is an internal tension, but it's not just an internal tension. It's likely to be something that will be played out with others. So watch it on Wednesday. Have a good, sensible outlet for your energy, sensible exercise. Don't overdo it. You know, you don't have to overdo it or anything like that. But some exercise might be a good idea. Get some alone time, and also to, you know, push your energies in the direction you want them to go. That's part of the thing with this week is, okay, this is tense energy, and maybe there's some irritation and all of that. That's true, but the more that you're actually applying yourself for something that you want to do, the less tense it is. Then Thursday, Friday, the moon is in Scorpio. Well, Thursday, the moon is in Scorpio, not Scorpio, the other one, Taurus. The moon is in Taurus. We're heading towards that full moon eclipse. And so the tensions are very, very high all the way through Thursday and Friday. I say the tensions are high. Do I mean tensions, or do I just mean energy? I mean tensions. I mean tensions. The aspects at the beginning part of the week all sort of roll into this eclipse, and there's a kind of release point that we're looking for, that we're hoping for. Okay, so it's very likely to be a time when people are not keeping stuff inside. They're putting it out there, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not necessarily easy, but it's not bad, right? It's not an easy kind of energy, but it's not a bad sort of energy either. There's that letting go of things, opening up, letting go, dropping stuff. You know, maybe I'll drop it on you, and that's not great, but dropping it. You don't have to hold on to things forever. That's what we get. Then after the eclipse, Friday, we get some kind of good feel stuff come in. Mercury will square Jupiter and sextile Pluto. This is a redo of some of that energy that was, I keep saying energy, some of the themes that were big in September and then through Mercury's retrograde in October that may have been resolved or come to a resolution in early November. And now we go back and we kind of, you know, massage them into place so that we're all comfortable with things. Again, Mercury's in Scorpio. There's a little bit of protectiveness. Jupiter's a little bit more open in Aquarius. So there's that dynamic that we see so much of this month. That's so prominent as the planets go through Scorpio. Still, it's not like you're completely locked into any one particular behavior or anything like that. Just, you know, take it the best you can. Certainly what I'm saying is, though, Friday, Saturday, good time for expressing yourself, good time for maybe repairing some damage based upon some things that you said or did earlier in the week. Maybe it's time to kind of make amends for that. So, or, you know, or go back and get somebody to make amends to you based upon that. The other thing is that Venus is going to trine Uranus, and that's going to happen right before the eclipse. So we're thinking this is a prominent energy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I would say in terms of relationships and things like that, it's a opportunity to move them in the direction you want them to go. It is a time for shifting things a little bit. You know, again, there's a lot of tension in the air. It's not like it's the easiest thing to do because people are going to be feeling a little bit volatile. But this aspect really kind of says you can make the changes that you need to make. It's a closing aspect, and if the change you need to make is to say goodbye, well, that's it. Or that we need some distance. Maybe it's not saying goodbye. Maybe we need a little distance, but we need to change things up a little bit right around midweek. And going forward from there is where you've got your opportunities for that kind of thing. Maybe hold off on that sort of discussion earlier in the week. And then we get to the weekend, and the weekend is my favorite part because it's, you know, the weekend. The moon is at the sun is the moon is in Gemini, nice, good sociable energy. And then the sun is going to be at the very end of Scorpio. Again, Gemini, Aquarius vibe is saying, let's go play, let's loosen things up. The sun at the last degrees of Scorpio still sort of wants to know where everybody is and what they're doing. You don't want to be left out of something, that kind of energy. Then you know what? By Sunday, the sun is going to go into Sagittarius, and that's a whole other day's work. We'll talk about that next week. Bye.